Now, about 200 countries have struck a landmark deal to launch a fund to support nations affected by climate change. Poor countries have been pushing for 30 years for rich countries to help foot the bill for loss and damage caused by global warming. But critics say the COP27 UN summit in Egypt did not go far enough on cutting the emissions that cause climate change. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres says it did not address the need for drastic reductions, and the planet is still in the emergency room. The UK's negotiator says he is incredibly disappointed the summit did not go further. The overarching agreement from COP27 maintains the commitment to limit global warming to 1.5 Celsius above pre-industrial levels. The UN says reaching this threshold would expose millions more people to potentially devastating climate impacts. Well, joining us on the news to discuss this is climate activist Ronke Ige. All right, Ronke, are you there?
Oh, yes, I am. Good afternoon to you.
All right.
And to viewers.
Thank you for joining us. Now, this loss and damage fund, a lot of persons have criticized this arrangement, saying that it does not address the root causes of the issues we are witnessing. But I'm wondering if you think that perhaps a lot of negotiation wasn't done appropriately to get what is needed for poor countries as it is being described.
Yeah, thank you so much. As someone who was also in most of the rooms in Sharm el-Sheikh and pushing and trying to ensure that justice is done, equitable justice, as a matter of fact, when we talk about the climate crisis that has been rocking our world for a while now, I would say that, to be really candid, getting loss and damage finance to be finally agreed on by the negotiators is a win. It's actually a win because, you know, of all the things we were pushing, of all the things that would serve people, that would serve humanity, and not just humanity, but also communities at the front line, vulnerable communities at the front line of climate crisis, wherein we have Africa, and also being the least contributors to the climate crisis. Loss and damage financing definitely was one of the things we were pushing. But what we would have loved to see even more would have been a phase out of fossil fuels. So there was a push for there to be a phase out, fossil fuels, coal power, all of that dangerous carbons, and, you know, all of those things that we were pushing. That wasn't done. Instead, we saw a clause introducing a phase down, you know, just like what we had at 26, as opposed to phase out. That, we believe, is not good for us, because at the end of the day, like you said, it means that we are still not addressing the root causes. Also, it would have been really, really nice to see reparations, because as much as we want to talk about loss and damage financing as though it will totally take away all of the troubles and then be the justice that we have been asking for, we also acknowledge that there have been communities that a lot of climate crimes have been committed in. Look at our Nigeria, our dear country, for instance. Look at Ogoniland, look at the Niger Delta region. Even now that we have issues of flooding, we know that most of these crises have been really fast-tracked and then made.
All right, we must have to leave the conversation there now. Ronke Ige, we must thank you for your time on the program. Some issues coming up there, but then a lot has been said by you with regards to the agreement reached at COP27.